Hi everybody, Andrea Carvin here at InnerSparks Rehab Gym and Spa. Today's topic is doggone shoulder pain a problem for you? So I brought a couple of props with me, and I work with high achievers, and us high achievers just love to have our hands in all kinds of things, and often pets are part of our lives. So in terms of shoulder pain, I wanted to share with you a couple of challenges that happen. Our shoulder is the most mobile joint in our body. It moves in all ranges and all directions. And we often are challenged to give our shoulders a load or strength at the same time. So if we're tired or we're just a little bit weak in one area, things like these beautiful little pooches who all of a sudden pull on us, or who might be sick, our animals when they're not feeling well, they can add an unexpected jolt or stress to our shoulders, and this can happen repetitively. This is where we start to develop repetitive injuries sometimes, particularly in the shoulder. And what starts to happen is below our conscious level, our shoulder starts to tighten up in the anticipation of certain movements, especially if our animals are sick and just behaving kind of goofy. So one quick fix to do, and this is what I call a Band-Aid. Whittle, come here, honey. Treat. Okay, I'm going to show you this little quick fix with my little thing 1 and thing 2 dog. So sometimes, come here, Spot, you can sit. We can reach forward and grab and pick up a dog, particularly if they're muddy and disgusting and they've just been outside or they caught something that you don't want to trust. And if your shoulders are out here and they're weak, you're going to feel these jolts and strains. So if you know that that's something you struggle with, what I invite you to do and suggest you do from a biomechanical approach is to bring the animal closer into your body so there isn't as much weight on your shoulders and you're allowing yourself to do most of the heavy lifting with muscles and kind of sharing the energy throughout your body. So that's biomechanical tip number 1 in the short term for dealing with these types of challenges and problems. In the long term, though, what I invite you to be aware of is that you're creating a loop of wear and tear on your shoulder because you're repetitively, lifting something, and if you have some muscle imbalance or weakness, the shoulder's going to start tensing on you more and more to protect itself. And the more you tense, the more you can tend to create those impingements and wearing down that eventually will cause your shoulder to say, ouch. So catching things early is a great way to really prevent long-term injury. And noticing these little things that happen in your higher risk places, like with goofy animals and dogs, is a great way to do that. So what do? Get yourself in to work with an expert who understands movement patterns. You want to assess the shoulder movements and create patterns that allow you to be responding to these sudden movements efficiently, easily, and in a relaxed way. Just as an athlete might go through very unexpected movements over and over again in their sport, we can become athletes of our body and learn to take care of our shoulders. If you're starting to notice your shoulder turning in or a little bit rotated in, these are signs that tension is happening and that there's a protective reflex that's going on, and it would be in your best interest to get in to work with somebody who's well trained in movement. So what we're looking at when we start to work with the shoulder is not just to clamp it down, because that's going to lead to more problems, tension, worn out joints. And then you'll notice it when you're working at the computer, when you're taking out garbage, when you're doing, if you're under your car and changing the oil and your arms have to be working up. These are all the types of things that lead to this wear and tear that we want to protect your shoulder from by increasing your flexibility, by looking at your movement patterns, because when the shoulder moves, you're also balancing your trunk. Your head is in a certain position. Your eyes are looking a certain way. So looking at movement patterns is way more than just looking at if your deltoid and your trapezius and your bicep and your serratus and your latissimus are all working together. Those are just some muscles that support here. It's really looking at how you're moving in the whole pattern. So the goal is to create your body as you grow throughout your life that's able to meet the demands of the environments that you put up and you challenge yourself with, and to continue to love these wonderful little furry creatures that are such a wonderful part of our lives. So again, just to recap, pay attention to the position of your shoulder. If you're turning in at all, that's a sign that you've got some tension going on that would be in your best interest to take a look at. Make sure you pay attention to your biomechanics. So if you're lifting heavy things, bring them in close to your body so as not to put too much strain on your shoulder until you have time to really work on the shoulder patterns and strengthen flexibility, posture, whatever is going to lead you to have the most efficient pattern to meet your body's needs. That's what we're looking for getting rid of that doggone shoulder pain. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Stop. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Until next time, thanks for joining us.